and we will many more of those programs to the right as we move forward. But I also think that we need many more starting points. And this is where, in the last few years, we have chosen to start our investments from a discovery perspective in malaria, initially with a partnership with the WHO special program on tropical diseases research, where we screened over 10,000 compounds against 6 parasitic pathogens, including Plasmodium falciparum. And we have starting points that are now moving into more full-fledged drug discovery programs. We have recently expanded this initial work through a collaboration with the MMV. And this is a 3-part collaboration, really. We provide our files, our know-how, the understanding and the knowledge of how to move from initial hit to the next step, and to the drug, with many more steps in between, of course. And the MMV is helping us to bring in the network. And the screening is actually done in Australia. Now, that sounds trivial. We give a file, but definitely a decade ago we wouldn't have done that. And the only reason why this is possible is because we have developed a framework to manage the intellectual property risks and to manage the costs that make this possible. Give the MMV and the malaria R&D community access to the same file that we use for our drug discovery programs in Alzheimer's and cancer. This is really important. I'm really excited about the starting points that this kind of program would provide in the future. But also, a few years further in the R&D process, the azithromycin chloroquine fixed-dose combination program, which we have been doing in collaboration with the London School and MMV, and we hope to continue developing with those same partners. We have early clinical efficacy trials that show efficacy of this combination of one of our antibiotics with chloroquine in combating chloroquine-resistant strains. In addition, there is an advantage, obviously, of azithromycin being able to fight sexually transmitted infections, which also improves the outcome of pregnancy. And this is, of course, a few steps closer to getting to patients than the early discovery program that I described. And at the other end, at the other extreme, the program that we have in collaboration with Sigma Tau and MMV on urartacin, which we licensed for approval and distribution, and of course the existing therapies, which we manufacture and distribute from a center in Dakar. So there is a whole range of things that pharma can do, from the very early research, like academia, all the way to distribution and access. And we can be partners in that. So this is the big picture, I guess, and my final slide. I would like to just add a few comments and a few thoughts. I was visiting a rural area near the town of Tambacounda in eastern Senegal just over a month ago, and I visited what we call health huts. This is the most basic of medical infrastructures that one can imagine, and they're very often the only access to healthcare that thousands of patients have in that region. I'm a scientist, so I don't often get the opportunity to go out and see where our patients are, and I found it striking to be there for a few days. I can fully understand how colleagues who live and work there, who try to treat those patients who have nothing, could be tempted to break the system, could be tempted to say, let's do away with patents, let's do compulsory licensing, let's not worry about partnering with pharma in doing R&D, let's do everything in academia, we can do that. It's quite tempting, but at the same time, do we really have the time to do that? It took pharma decades to develop the infrastructure, the knowledge, the assets that we have, and we are willing partners. We are scientists, we are driven by medical need, and we want to do what is right. Thanks to the MMV and other PDPs, you have removed some of the obstacles that were on our way, and there is going to be more and more of that. As we embark on the next decade of drug discovery, I really look forward to continuing working very closely with you all. Thank you very much.